Good thing my head was turned for most of that. I'd be mortified. Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so happy to have you here.
I'm so happy that you're here.
I'm so happy you're here.
Yay! Yeah.
So we have to share a little secret. So for about 4 years,
we were dating. We were dating for 4 years.
Scarlett was our guest at the Huffington Post White House Correspondents' Dinner. And I have to tell you this one scene. People would line up for as far as the eye can see to come and shake her hand. Grown politicians would just be shaking at the prospect. And then there was this moment.
Lies. Those are lies.
While there was this whole line of politicians waiting to touch the flesh, she was running.
Would I make a beeline for Howard Dean?
No, you made a beeline, literally running in high heels across the ballroom.
For who?
For Bernie Sanders.
Don't tell all my secrets.
So, you know, people think that your activism and your fascination with politics was new because of your amazing speech at the Women's March. But in fact, it started much earlier. When exactly did it start?
Yeah, well, my family is, I come from a very politically vocal family. My grandmother, you know, was right there fighting for tenants' rights, you know, during the whole Mitchell-Lama housing development with Scott Stringer. My mother used to take us to the voting booth, and I would push the button for, you know, whatever Democratic candidate. It's probably illegal to do that, but I guess I voted for her. You know, I've just come from a very politically active family, and like I said, a very vocal family. You know, my twin brother was a field organizer for the Obama campaign. He also was a supporter of Howard Dean very early on, and a Bernie Sanders supporter. You know, I've been always interested in local politics, and I think that change happens at home, and you know, that's something I learned from a very early age.
But the world didn't know that side of you until your speech at the Women's March. So let's take a quick look. So, are you thinking of running for office?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I think, like I said, I've always been interested in local politics. I think that's where you make the most effective changes in your community. And, you know, I don't know. I would never rule anything out, but I have a very full life right now. And I think that, you know, with a very young daughter, and, you know, I have a lot that I want to do still with my career. You know, I can't imagine that would be a possibility for a long time.
But, you know, New York mayor, wouldn't that be great? Local politics.
It'd be great. I would like to see more affordable housing in New York City, and I'd like to see a greener city. But I also believe that, you know, there are people that are, you know, I have certainly, in the past have supported Scott Stringer and his mayoral run, and I really believe a lot in his experience and his platform. So, you know, I think you can affect a lot of change just by supporting a political candidate and perhaps redirecting the spotlight onto somebody, you know, whose policies you really stand behind. So.
But I'm sure if you decide to run for anything, all these women here, we would put on our pussy hats and campaign for you. In fact, what do you think has happened with the Women's March? You know, there was so much momentum, so much enthusiasm. What do you think needs to happen to maintain that momentum and bring about some real change?
Well, you know, I think that it was interesting because it became this global movement. You know, I mean, I was talking to friends of mine in France, in England, all over the place that participated in one way or another in some sort of, you know, gathering or march. And I think, you know, just to open up the conversation that can sometimes feel very, I think can be a kind of, it can feel a little bit, I don't want to say isolating exactly, but it sometimes I think feels sort of solitary to know that the conversation is happening on a global level is, I think just the beginnings of that is very encouraging for people. I think it encourages people to volunteer, it encourages people to activate, to donate their time, their money, and you know, it's just knowing that I think you have the support of a global community that can inspire you know, some sort of forward momentum. So I hope to see that continue. It was a really incredibly powerful day, and there's a lot of work ahead of us. But just to know that we are all kind of holding hands, you know, around the globe, I think is the beginning of something really, really big, and something that's never happened exactly in this particular way before.
And in your speech, you've called out President Trump, and recently, in an SNL skit, you did, I don't know if you've seen it, but you're about to, a pretty amazing impersonation of Ivanka Trump.
No. Yeah, I think it's, I try to stop myself from, I go, wait, do I need to be doing this right now? Yes. I do not need to be, you know, like going down the rabbit hole of, you know, what the first production of Glass Menagerie was. Like, that's okay. I can put that away for a minute. I can just put it away.
And how has your life changed since you became a mother, which is now 2.5 years?
Yes, it's 2.5 years, and it is so profound, the change. I can't even begin to summarize it. But you know, it's just, I think I really enjoy, you know, when I am disconnected from this thing, it really allows me to be really connected with my 2.5-year-old daughter, and just, you know, I just love, and I've been fascinated also with this idea also in my work as an actor, this kind of paring away of all this noise and kind of return to almost this child state where you see, you know, with your child, they're so imaginative, and you know, this imaginative play that they do. I love to watch her come up with all kinds of stories and games, and you know, it's such a magical, of course, that word's so overused, but it's such an opportunity to really enjoy just life and the simple things that, you know, are that connect us to one another. This human experience that we share. It's so wonderful to be able to have this tiny person to, you know, to you know, interact with and share that part of life with. It's been amazing.
And it's
what can I say?
This tiny bilingual person. Rose speaks English and French, forcing her mother to learn French.
She is, I know, and she doesn't like it when I speak French for some reason. I don't know why. She'll go, no French, Daddy talks that. I'm like, God, you are a bossy kid? D'accord,
I wonder where
no
she
French,
took that from. I wonder where she took the bossy part from. Remember, Sheryl Sandberg.
Don't ask her father that.
We shouldn't call our daughters bossy. We should say that they have leadership abilities.
Yes.
So, Scarlett, I do wish you had more time, but I just want to thank you so much for being not just a brilliant, amazing, and indeed magical actor, but for being such a wise woman, sharing your wisdom with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.